Alrighty, let's see. So the speedometer does not work because I've replaced the speedometer cable with a brand new one. It took me a while to replace it. Got up underneath there and hooked it all up, and it still didn't work. So I'm not sure exactly what's wrong with that. Motor runs nice and cool. Oil pressure around 50 to 55 most of the time. Battery nice and charged. All the gauges, everything works. Stereo currently is off, but it works. Let's see, the AC and heat blow nice and hot or nice and cold, whatever you want. All the lights, turn signals, everything, wipers, rear window works and everything. It's relatively quiet inside, nothing too noisy. It is a little bit loud just because of the exhaust. The exhaust does have two kind of small pinholes in the header just because of the shackle. The shackle hits the side of the header because they're not shorty headers. That was one thing I was going to do, was replace the headers with some shorty headers. But it gets up and goes pretty quick, especially to be on 40s. Let's see, a little whining, if you could hear that from the front of the vehicle, is from the high pressure steering pump. That's just for the hydraulic assist. It just has a slight whine to it. That started as soon as I put it on there. But yeah, there's where it's running right now, if you can see it. Sorry. Suspension is pretty soft. I actually had to call up Alcan and tell them that I wasn't going to be driving this on the street just to get the springs soft enough. Pretty expensive springs. I think for both front and rear springs it was about $1,800 or a little bit more, and I got those at a pretty good deal. Brakes are pretty good because of the 1-ton axles. Let's see, the master cylinder I believe needs to be a little bit larger just because of the larger pistons on the Dana 60 up front. Still stops fine, but I do have a solution. I think it's the Dodge. I think it's a Dodge master cylinder that you need to put in here in order to allow it to stop the way it wants. The pedal is pretty squishy, but you know, if you really get on it, it'll stop you pretty quick. Replaced the pads and everything once I put the Dana 60 in about a couple of years ago. And the brake drums, I haven't really done much with those. Let's see. What else? Interior's pretty clean. A few little stains here and there. I mean, it's good for what it is. Top's never been off. Window tint on the driver's door is peeling away just a little bit. The windows are tinted, all of them except for the rear window on the back. Let's see if you can kind of, I don't know if we'll rev it here. Let's do it on the other street. But it shifts pretty good. I'll get on it a little bit so you can see how it shifts. Pretty quick. Yeah, we got I just had the transmission and the transfer case rebuilt at about the same time. I believe it does have the Corvette servos in the transmission. It's built with larger, beefier parts made just, you know, strictly for off-roading. As far as naming all those, I'm not too familiar with automatic transmissions, so I couldn't exactly tell you. As far as the T-case goes, it was welded. It's a brand new housing, but it was welded where they're prone to cracking. I actually cracked one before, and the dude welded it before he before he put it back in. Alright, so here we go again. I wish I could kind of show you how fast I'm going. I could actually get on my iPhone and get the speedometer app for you and show you how fast we were going, but yeah, that wasn't on it all the way, but it was on it pretty good, and it gets up and goes. And now as far as the suspension, it'll lean quite a bit. I mean, it's pretty soft back and forth. you'll definitely squeal some tires if you hit a corner quick enough. It's just some stuff moving around the back. As far as the steering wheel being a little crooked, there is a tie rod bent. I believe it's on the passenger side. So it's just a 1-ton Napa brand tie rod end. I was actually going to be trading those out with some 3/4 tons and see if I couldn't get some different knuckles, because you have to ream out those knuckles for the 1-ton since they're larger. Since I can't go back to 3/4 ton, I'd have to get all new knuckles. But yeah, that's a quick, easy fix as far as the steering wheel and everything goes. Yeah, as far as everything inside, I mean, the speedometer is the only thing that unfortunately does not work. Everything else works great. Yeah, and I think that's about it. Parking brake does not work, just needs some cables, whatever. When I put in the rear axle, I did not put in a parking brake cable. Yeah, hopefully that's what you wanted. There we go.